Here in Japan, guys, we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about a few things. In fact, it also can be a Q&A, so you guys can ask questions or whatever, whatever you want. But I am going to show you, because I'm going to be making today, a high-fat smoothie with lots of fiber, lots of minerals, healthy fats, by the way, because there is a difference, in my opinion. And I will not give you any medical advice. I'm not making any medical claims. I'm not making any claims for or against any product or products. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully you guys can see it all. So first things first, in fact, check this out. I'm going to show you guys, I've been so fortunate here. I'm meeting a lot of different types of farmers here. And I'll tell you, look at the produce that they grow, and they're so generous. Look at this thing. So we're going to go ahead and use some of this produce today. When I've been learning about soil, I've been learning about how they grow the food here in Japan. And I'll tell you one thing, they're really into their farming, and their soil is like unbelievable. The people who really get into farming, and there's a lot of them. And this is going to be very high. I mean, look, there's fiber in fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, beans, mushrooms, all this type of stuff. And as important as fiber is, this is taking things, in my opinion, to another level, because what we're going to be seeing in a lot of the food here in Japan that I've been noticing is how rich it is in minerals. And that's, I think, actually one of the quote-unquote secrets to their longevity, is the amount of fiber and vegetables and minerals that they're getting. And they get a lot of it from the ocean too, but as you guys know, oceans are highly polluted. Excuse me, highly polluted these days. So all right, so here we go. We're going to start, I'm just going to start with the vegetables here first. But you're going to be surprised, kind of a new smoothie I've been working on. And I got to tell you, it's actually pretty good. I've really been enjoying it, and I'm going to show you guys how to make it. I believe anybody can make it almost anywhere in the world if you have access to quote-unquote the right ingredients. And I do think that anybody should have access to these ingredients. So here we go. And I have to, wherever I go in the world, or even state by state, wherever I go, I have to always adapt. I'm not always finding every single vegetable or fruit that I want, so I'm always adapting. In fact, I've been grabbing these vegetables here in Japan. A lot of them I don't even know what they are. I just use them because, well, obviously I'll just ask somebody like, oh, are these good for you? Sure, yep, those are good for you. And then just put them in these smoothies, and it's been working out really well. Okay, so still going with the vegetables first. It's one of the first things I do, but like I said, I think you're going to be a little surprised at how we're getting a lot of fats. And look, do you want fats and oils in your smoothie? In my opinion, well, absolutely. You need the fats and the oils. They're extremely important for you. Now, depending on how you get them though, because we can talk about seeded oils, like seed oils, in my opinion, super bad for you. Now, granted, I'm also going off of not only data, but I'm going off of what my own personal experiences have been throughout the years. And I'll tell you, seed oils, the data coming out on them, oh lordy, I mean, it is so bad. And it's been part of my protocol for a long time, or protocols really, to eliminate seed oils. You should see the data on them just basically wreaking havoc on your health, especially for your skin too. If you got skin issues, you might want to think about, if you're consuming seed oils, blood pressure issues, even diabetes. It's really wild. And the way that they affect your cravings for sugar. That's kind of another interesting thing that they do. How they affect you hormonally. What I really wanted to talk today in the video, actually, to be honest with you guys, was I want to talk about microplastics, because, look, I share this stuff with you pretty much for the reason or the purpose of wanting to show you guys how to improve your health. Why? Well, as you guys probably know, at least the people who've been watching my channel for a while, I was crazy sick, and I had a lot of medical problems. I never thought I'd find the solution, and it took a lot of work. And once I found it, I felt almost a duty, but yeah, I felt it was important. But this thing doesn't sound real good, does it? What did I do to it? Something's getting caught. I just felt it was important to share the knowledge with people so that you guys could also find your way back to health, because when you're sick, at least for me, it absolutely ruined my life. Now you guys, this is live, so you guys can ask questions. Okay, I'm going to show you one of the first fats I'm going to put in here now, okay? Here we go. I don't know if you guys can see the blender. I know the lighting's probably no good. Actually, it's terrible lighting. Okay, first fat we're going to put in here. Walnuts. So let's put some walnuts in here. I could not figure out how to open up this bag yesterday for like 15 minutes. And then I finally figured it out. It's all in Japanese. Alright. So rich in minerals, rich in fiber, rich in good fats. And I mean, I'm telling you right now, there's a difference between good fats and bad fats. I'll just say, in my opinion, obviously. You guys believe what you want to believe, but I'm going to show you that first ingredient. Okay, so next really good fat. Let's get the next one. This one has been absolutely wonderful. I did not think that it would work buying frozen, because normally I buy a lot of like frozen berries and whatnot. Here, am I getting the right angle? Can you guys see? I should show you how the stoves work in Japan too. I got a video on that I haven't released. It's kind of interesting. All right, the next one is avocado. And, you know, I wasn't sure how well it would go in the smoothie, and let's just say, extremely well. So, let's put some avocado in there, and it's all chopped up for me and everything real nice. I like to put some of the frozen stuff in first. It gives it a little time to thaw while I'm making this smoothie. So there's another fat ingredient. And, of course, it doesn't just have fat. Of course, it has fiber. It has minerals, proteins, good nutrients. Absolutely great stuff. Okay, now, it's had a few things that have, well, enzymes. Pineapple, extremely wonderful enzyme in this. And that's why I just absolutely love to have it. And it really helps with the flavor. I've noticed that pineapple just really, really helps with the flavor on these smoothies. So, and I've been buying it, again, also frozen. I'm going to show you now a couple of what I call, quote-unquote, secret ingredients. I mean, this smoothie is going to be so full of protein, it's going to be ridiculous. But this one's really good for your vascular system. Blueberries. Why do you want your vascular system to be healthy, guys? Obviously for good heart health, and if most of you realize that that's one of the #1 killers in America, and probably the world. I mean, heart disease is like a problem for most people. And to be honest, I used to have heart disease, and it's an easy one to fix, in my opinion. It's not hard. It just takes the right knowledge and be persistent. Now, this guy, here's the secret. I'm not kidding you. This has almost as much protein as a beef, but it's got actually way more benefits. Very special enzyme, only found in this one food in the entire world. That tells you anything. And, of course, high in fiber. Shows to oxygenate cells. Seems to be actually really good against fighting against cancer or keeping it at bay. It's a special fermented bean from Japan called Natto. Now, this fermented bean, I'm going to show you how to activate it. There are so many scientific studies in Japan about this. In fact, it's even used as a natural statin because it thins your blood just a little bit. You know, I think it's because the way the enzymes really clean it, and it just thins out the blood, and it's really rich in vitamin K, another really important one. Boy, don't even get me started on vitamin K. There's a lot of things that people don't understand about that. But you have to activate it by spinning it. So first you'll see what it looks like now. And now, according to the data, now I can go off the data, and I usually do, but I've had so much experience with it, I can just tell by looking at it when it's actually been activated. But the data says to spin it around 100 times. And I've noticed, because I've been counting, that it is extremely accurate. It is right around the 100th time that it really gets activated. So right now what's happening is all these good bacteria in this natto are starting to breathe. They're coming to life. You're moving them around. They're oxygenating. Now it's starting to almost like froth. And that's exactly what you're looking for. So I don't know if you guys can see it frothing up there. And it's looking pretty well activated. You can see. All right, so gotta put natto in here because the level of not only protein, but the level of nutrients, minerals, fibers, enzymes, good gut stuff for your, all this stuff is really good for your gut. And I'll tell you, you gotta heal your gut if you're gonna get your health right. Sorry to tell you, it's just, that's my opinion. Take it or leave it. Oh no. Oh no. All right guys, I got a fly in here and I'm really picky about my flies. So hold on a second, I apologize. I'm gonna grab my electric racket. Hold on a second, I gotta kill this guy. Hold on a second. I gotta get rid of this thing. Okay. I'm sure you guys have seen these, and if not, these electric rackets for killing flies are pretty awesome. And let's see, you're probably gonna hear the zap. There you are. I don't know if you heard that. Where are you, fly? Where'd you go? There you are. He tried to get away. It zapped him. I gotta zap him like tons of times to really kill these guys. Okay, where's the tissue? I'm gonna squash him just in case. Sorry about the delay, but I'll tell you, I don't like flies around because I don't know if you guys understand the science of what happens with flies, but flies basically carry eggs on them. So everything they touch, they're dropping eggs for like parasites and worms, and it's just gross, and so gotta kill them. And so, all right, moving on. Let me put the racket away again. Okay, let's hope that is the last fly. I had to get that because recently there was a bunch of flies lately and it's driving me nuts. Okay, moving on. What's next? Well, okay, this has massive amount. You know what? You guys want to see some more crazy protein and more healthy fats? I can't believe this. The lady here, there's an old lady, and I gotta tell you, she is so sweet and does things for me that I just can't believe it. She makes me this bean milk every day because I use it. I mean, I don't have to use it, but it has so much protein and so many minerals, and it's so good for you. So I mix it in here also with hydrogen water on top of it. So I'm gonna put some of that in there. Let's do that. She's a very, very sweet person. I just can't believe she does that every single morning for me. I just can't believe it. I'm like, okay, you don't have to do this. And she's like, no, that's fine. I'm like, okay. Extremely kind. I gotta say, that's what I love about Japan, actually. There's a lot of things I love about Japan, but I just love the kindness. And I gotta say, I love their farmers. Oh my gosh, their farming is unbelievable. No rush, or no such thing as healthy fats. Actually, I would, what's the word I'm looking for? Respectfully disagree. There are bad fats for sure, and there are definitely good fats. In fact, you need good fats in order to produce things like testosterone in a healthy manner and other hormones. But it really depends how you're getting them. Because there are plenty of bad fats, especially like the fats from like seed oils and stuff. And then when you heat them, the science is actually super clear on that one, and it just creates absolute havoc on the body. It's so bad for you. So there's a healthy way, in my opinion, and an unhealthy way to go about these things, and that's why I'm showing you what I do. And you don't have to follow, but we need good fats. Oh yeah, we absolutely do. It's just, sorry, it's just kind of a fact. Okay, matcha, green tea matcha, the health benefits so long, and I've been putting this in the smoothie, and for whatever reason, I don't know why exactly, but it makes it taste really creamy. And if you look up all the anti-cancerous, anti-parasitic, all the benefits and the minerals of green tea, oh look at this, look at this, just got it all over me. And some people ask, why do you wear an apron? I'm like, yeah, I just made an absolute mess. So let me wash that off. It's funny that some people actually were asking that, and the other day I didn't have my apron, and I thought, okay, I'll try to make my smoothie without it. And I'll tell you, I was absolutely missing it. It was, look at this, I would have gone green tea all over me. This stuff stains You guys can't tell, but I got white pants on too, so that would have gotten all over me. That would have been, I wouldn't say it would have ruined my day, but I don't think I'd be totally happy about it. Somebody says, yeah, there are healthy fats in plant foods. Yes, small amounts. Yes, that's absolutely right, in my opinion. Does it make you hyper? I don't know what if you're talking about the green tea, no. Josh says, oil and animal foods are the worst thing for you. I agree with a lot of that. I agree that seed oils are not good for you. And there's a lot of animal products, depending on how you use them. Yeah, they're definitely, there's a lot of downsides. And then somebody says, intersection says, I wish I could get past the taste of matcha. Well, that's why I, mix it with different things and you can get used to it. Now, this is also rich in minerals, good for digestion, and that's some prunes. So let's get some prunes in here. Now, I kind of hate doing this, to be quite honest with you guys, but these prunes, they're so sticky and they're not the most pleasant thing to work with and get on your hands, especially when the bag is getting low on prunes. But the magic, the fiber, the minerals, the aid in digestion if you want to stay regular. I mean, I don't know. I used to put raisins in here, but this is what I found here in Japan. And you know what? Like I said, I just try to do the best I can with what I've got. By the way, this is my breakfast. The first thing I consumed was my hydrogen water that's obviously super clean. And then this is the very next thing I put in my body. Why? Well, because some very, very new research in regards to how vegetables affect your body if you consume them first thing in the morning, which is what we're doing here, or at least what I'm doing here. Okay, so there's a few more prunes here. I like to put at least, these days I like to put at least 3, sometimes 4, just depends. So we're gonna go ahead and put a few more because the other bag was kind of empty. And the nice thing about the prunes, I mean, we could look up all the health benefits. If you look up the health benefits of any of these foods, you're gonna be kind of surprised and shocked. But prunes also make it taste good, bring out a little sweetness, anything that helps the flavor. Because of all the, excuse me, because of all the stuff that I'm putting in here. Okay, now ginger. Ginger also has a very, very long list of health benefits. But the big stuff I'm after, I like stuff that's anti-parasitic. I love stuff that's rich in minerals and nutrients. And of course, fiber, anti-cancerous. That's, they say that almost pretty much everybody eventually gets cancer. Well, guys, I've seen too many people get the cancer thing. And I'm not making any claims. All I'm telling you is I've seen how horrible it is, how sad it is, and if I can do everything within my power, I'm going to stick my hands in this mess. Yikes. I'm going to do everything I can to try to avoid it or prolong. Oh, fly. Oh my God, are you kidding me? What is going on with these flies today? Stay away. Do not land on my smoothie. Where'd you go? I'm going to go grab that racket again. Gosh dang it. Oh, where are you? Find this guy. Sorry guys, it's going to drive me nuts, these flies. That's what happens. It's going to drive me nuts. Where'd he go? Oh, there you are. Okay, I hate to catch him with my hand, but I might have to do that. Or go get that racket. Okay, I'm going to go get the racket. Hold on. I didn't really want to show this on camera, but where do you go? As long as you're not in my smoothie. Because I do not want to be consuming that. Where are you? I would ask you guys if you saw where he went, but you guys probably didn't see. This is ridiculous. Where are you? I know you're here somewhere. Start bumping things. Moving things around. Where did he go? Where did he go? And I know he's here, and once I know he's here, he's landing on everything, and I don't want him landing on stuff. Come on, really? Come, I just had a feeling that would happen too. He's like, he's just gonna come around right in the middle of my smoothie. And okay, I'm just gonna set down the racket again. This time we're gonna keep it nearby because this is ridiculous. All right, what's next? In this high fat, I think we already have plenty of fat and nutrients in this thing. Okay, we put the ginger in there. Okay, what's next? Now this is something I've been enjoying putting in the smoothies lately. The other trick to health, again in my opinion, but I don't know, people don't seem to sometimes understand. Though some people have tried my protocols and then of course they see the magic and the results and then they're like, okay, huge believers, but is hydration. So this smoothie is very, very hydrating, in my opinion. Lots of fiber, lots of minerals, and lots of water content. And I'm putting a cucumber, at least I think that's what this is. And I never used to put cucumbers, but like I said, I work with what I've got. In the US, I would get celery, which was very affordable. Here, the celery, oh my goodness, you can't believe the astronomical price, if you can even find it for the smallest amount. And I found beets too, but oh, get out of here. That's like a fruit fly, but fruit flies actually, just so you know, on the science of fruit flies, they're actually much cleaner. But still, I don't want no flies. No flies, oh, there he is. I'm gonna zap that little guy anyway. Just, even though he's a fruit fly. Oh, there it goes. You hear that? Zap the fruit fly, but not the big one. I want the big one. It's like catching a big fish, kind of. All right, so let's see. He had, what's, okay, let's see. Do you have a osmosis water? Okay, I guess you guys have a lot of questions. Let's go through these. Okay, Josh says green tea has fluoride in it. Highly doubt that actually. In Japan, I don't buy green tea from any other country except Japan. And I saw the lab studies. So somebody says, do you have reverse osmosis water? I have better than that. I'm actually gravity filtering it with carbon and then I'm distilling it. Believe me, I mean, that's my thing, water. And I saw all the lab reports and it's perfectly clean. It's actually better than reverse osmosis. Watch my video 388 for the lab reports. Even reverse osmosis is not good enough. Are you going to do a book with all your recipes and smoothies? Probably not. I feel like if I were to sit down and try to write something, it would take years. Josh says, we're starchitarians. Okay, Josh says, according to the doctor, all right, whatever. The guy was dead. Rip. Okay, intersections. I love the hygiene. Oh yeah, I am. I'm actually a germaphobe and really against parasites. Ever since I had certain experiences that affected my mind, it kind of blew my mind. I put ginger and turmeric in my smoothies. That is really good idea in my opinion. McDougall is smart, whoever that is. He was my favorite nutrition doctor. Okay. Josh says filter for your water is important. Yeah, I don't know if you've watched my channel, but absolutely is. You have to distill it in order to remove everything. Again, I've got all those lab reports. I know everything about water filtration. That's kind of one of my specialties. And I agree with you. You definitely need to clean your water. It's kind of ridiculous, the stuff that's in it. And so, with that being said, let's keep moving forward. See if we can finish this thing. And next ingredient, carrots. White carrots. Well, oh, you know what? I recall, oh, there it is. I recall seeing a carrot here that somebody didn't finish. So I'll finish it today. And, wow, look at this thing. It's covered in. Now let's wash it. Yeah, the water in Japan is actually pretty high quality depending on where you go, but for the most part, they have really good water in Japan, actually. People don't know this, but Japan is a water country. Like, you have no idea the level that they hold, how highly they hold their water, like to what level. And there's so many videos that I want to do, you know, and a lot of them I've made I just never released because people sometimes want, it's just a long story really. I don't need to get into all of that, but I got a bunch of videos that at some point I'll release, but I got some kind of quote-unquote big stuff coming up, and I'm going to release a video here soon about a very new hydrogen technology that literally nobody in the world has. There's only one company in the world, and it's actually what they're doing was supposed to be, well, technically impossible, and they're actually doing the impossible with this new hydrogen technology. It's unbelievable. And I'm going to show you the actual lab footage because it kind of happened by accident. Don't a lot of big discoveries happen like that? They happen by accident. You know? And here I'm using a very sharp Japanese blade. The Japanese have amazing metal technology, and they're so detail oriented. And it's interesting because they don't really classify their food a lot as organic for many years, and yet their food is so clean. Okay, and I'm shoving this down as much as I can there to make room for, well, whatever else I want to put in this smoothie. And carrots are, between carrots and pumpkin, the lady here would sometimes steam pumpkin for me too, and she'd leave it in the fridge, this old lady, so that I could use it in my smoothies. She doesn't even drink my smoothies either. She's very old-fashioned and does her thing, but I gotta say that pumpkin and carrots are so good for you. And carrots tend to be, pretty inexpensive. I mean, in Japan, they're actually a little more expensive here than I expected. But what I'll tell you is, they're so good for you, and I'll just say affordable, which is why I always want to put them in my smoothies. It's a vegetable, but it's sweet. Anything that can help improve the flavor of the smoothie, because otherwise, you're not going to enjoy it. You have to be able to drink it and enjoy it. And I've had many people, in fact, there was a bunch of old ladies here the other day. This lady here has a lot of friends. And there was a bunch of old Japanese ladies, and they thought it was so funny that I was working in the kitchen. And that I would wash dishes and stuff, and they're like, what? And it was so funny. They're like, "Iraine?" Like they just couldn't believe it. It was really funny because they're very old. I mean, Japan is very old school. Guys, unless they're a chef or something. And anywho, they tried some of my smoothie and they could not believe, because they were laughing. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you're putting natto? Like nobody does natto in their smoothie." Okay, let's see here. Somebody's making a comment. Intersection says, "Is your still electric or gas?" If you're talking about the stove, Japan, all about gas. They do not like electric stoves, and they don't work very good. Josh says, "Have you ever heard of a Peter Rogers, blah, blah, blah? He talks about toxicology." I know all about toxicology and water. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't have the need to watch anybody. I have all the data on it. And I've been studying for a long time. So no, I have not looked into him at all. He says there's no such thing as healthy fats. Well, he's clearly wrong. Sorry. There's a lot of doctors that are wrong. There's a lot of gurus that are wrong. I've worked with so many people who have worked with so many gurus. Like I'm working with someone right now. This couple has spent over $1 million on health gurus, doctors, different medical stuff, and they've been working with me now, and they said the results are unreal. They just can't believe it. And so, it's all good, to each their own, but there is definitely healthy fats. You need fats, sorry. And then, of course, seed oils are terrible, and animal fat. I tend to agree with you, but a lot of people argue that. But yeah, I don't consume animal fats, and I'm not putting any animal fats in this. So this is kind of unique to show you how to get good healthy fats if you are trying to be vegetarian or you are vegetarian. I was referring to your water distiller. Oh yeah, well I want my water clean, that's for sure. Okay, moving on. Let's keep going. Let's put, I don't know what I got room in here for now. I could put a lot of things in here. I wanted to put a little bit more pineapple, to be quite honest, but let's put a little more carrots. No! Did you see that? Oh my gosh. It went right in the trash. Are you kidding me? Now I gotta wash it. Ugh. Now, of course, this trash is just a little compost pile. You should see that this old lady's so into farming. She's got a compost pile, and these things just literally like plants and stuff just start growing out of it. And she then takes those and replants them. She's got plants everywhere that are giving off food. It's just so cool. And boy, I could put a lot of carrots in here today, but that's enough. I think I had enough carrots in there. And And so she had this one ground. She knew she could identify all sorts of trees and plants, and she said this one she doesn't know what it is. But she replanted it anyway, and she's like asking me, she goes, "Do you know what it is?" I'm like, "No, no idea what that is." All right, now the banana is the final thing because, in my opinion, I cannot make these smoothies taste right without the bananas. I need the bananas. Maybe I can put a little bit more vegetables in this, but I always like, lately, depending on the size of banana, these are kind of small ones, so I'm going to put 2 of them. And plus they're starting to turn. So when I always like to use up the vegetables. And look, there's still room in here. What? Anybody have any suggestions? What do you think we should put in here? I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm thinking these fresh vegetables that they just, oh, is that a fly? Did I see the fly? Did you guys see it? Anybody? Thought I saw a fly around here. He just came after the smoothie. Look how pretty that looks actually on the top. I'm kind of wary of leaving it open. So let's go ahead and close that while I'm going to wash a few more vegetables. I'm going to wash these vegetables because these guys, in my opinion, are special. These came from a farm that this lady where she's farming at, absolutely 0 chemicals. So basically completely organic, and not organic because some store said they're organic because they used, I don't know, 90% less pesticides or whatever. But truly, truly 0 chemicals on this. I think I see the fly. Oh, that looks pretty good. Oh, where is it? There you go. Where's the racket? I wish he would just show up so I could just get rid of him already. Where is he? I'm going to spend too much time chasing this fly, but today is one of those chill days. Okay, let's see. Somebody said, why did you decide to move to Japan? Okay, I'll answer that in a second. That's a long answer. Intersection says, my father had a water still in the basement when I was growing up. He only drank well from the family farm or distilled. It used gas and cost a lot to run. Yep, that blender is getting a workout. Yeah, you haven't seen nothing yet. And then Kimijo says, can the banana spike your sugar if you are insulin resistant? Well, look, you'd be surprised on the data on bananas. I mean, everybody, look, I don't want to, let's just keep it real simple because if you want to go read the actual data, the way that sugar affects the body, if it's processed sugar as compared to a natural sugar that comes from a food, is very different, especially the steadiness of fruits and vegetables versus ridiculous spikes and crashes from processed sugars. These, in my opinion, I'm literally working with diabetics and they're doing these protocols that I'm doing and they're actually reducing their insulin. Their blood glucose is much healthier. And eventually I'm going to get them off all that insulin. I've done that with many diabetics, and this is something I highly recommend because the vegetables, okay, so here's the science. This is the reason I make these smoothies in the morning. If you consume vegetables on an empty stomach, now granted, I really like to use hydrogen in my protocols because it's just kind of amazing the way it affects insulin resistance, and it actually helps because it's due to oxidative stress that the insulin issues happen. So I always do the hydrogen protocol first. And he's seen, obviously, his blood glucose drop, so he has to get off the medicine little by little. But if you eat vegetables first thing in the morning, it actually helps regulate blood glucose all day long. That was from studies in Japan, and it blew everybody's mind, including the Japanese. Nobody expected that. And then somebody says, so hopefully that answers kind of your question. So I'm not worried about it. Just make sure to monitor your levels. You know, I'm not giving you any medical advice, so consult your doctor. Sure, he'll be real happy to tell you to make a smoothie. All right, with that being said, more healthy fats, more protein from this bean milk. I want to leave some, because I usually leave some for other people here who like to put it in their coffee or sometimes tea. Okay, so now let's get some hydrogen water. All right. Don't have to add hydrogen water, but hey, if I got it, why not? And if you notice, I always want to get the water or the milk, whatever you're using, all the way to the very, very top. Okay, let's put this back. But I'll tell you right now, It's a much better idea to drink the hydrogen water than put it in smoothies, but if you got it, why not? What kind of milk? It's a bean milk. They're making it out of beans here in Japan. And fresh. She has this device. Oh my gosh, you guys should see this thing. This device is so unbelievable. She puts in here beans and super, let me see if there's anything in here. No, it's all cleaned out. She puts really clean beans, non-GMO, all organic, and then with water, and it makes the milk for you. And you can make it out of anything. You can make it out of almonds, beans, whatever. The whole thing does it for you, and it's pretty awesome. So I think she recently got it, and she's been enjoying it, and so she's been making it for me every day. I gotta say, I mean, it's just unbelievable. So kind. Okay, with that being said, okay, why don't we take a little poll here? Yes, soybeans. Yep. Yeah, soybeans, you know, there's a huge misconception about soybeans. A lot of people think that they're unhealthy, but the Japanese consume more soybeans than anybody in the world, and they have the highest life expectancy. And to be quite honest, I found that the studies that were basically saying negative things about soy, they actually did new studies, and I don't know why nobody talks about the new ones, and they found out that they actually had made some major mistakes. And I actually never listened to the studies because there's so much science about beans in general. Lentils, garbanzo beans, all sorts of beans, extremely good for you. And in my personal opinion, you cannot be a healthy vegetarian without beans. Beans end up being your substitute for meat if you're going to go vegetarian. Okay, and then somebody says, what? Oh, okay, hold on. There's some questions I missed. Somebody says, thank you. What kind of milk? We answered that. Intersection says, what is this hydrogen water do for you? Oh my gosh, the list is so long. How about I tell you the medical conditions I've literally seen I've seen disappear because of hydrogen water. And there's actually scientific studies, not like 20 or 30. There's literally over 2,000 studies. It's already medically approved actually in Japan. But I've seen high blood pressure go away, type 2 diabetes go away. I've seen some crazy thing with type 1 diabetes. I did a video on that because the doctor who was monitoring a type 1 diabetic 1 patient just could not believe the results. It was unbelievable. I've seen glaucoma go away, macular degeneration, nerve pain. I had heart disease and made my heart condition go away. Never needed an open heart surgery I was told I needed. It is anti-aging, so they've shown a lot of benefits in regards to that. What else? Arthritis. I've definitely seen arthritis go away. I've seen huge improvements with thyroid function where people literally start getting off their medicine. The benefits for the gut. Oh my Lord, from SIBO to Crohn's disease to celiac disease, all sorts of gut issues. Reestablishing the metabolism. I've seen a lot of people lose weight who have disrupted metabolism. Super good for cellular function. So like people who that was one of the first research studies on the mitochondrial function and producing energy, because I've worked with so many people who've had issues with the chronic disease, or I'm sorry, chronic fatigue syndrome. What do they call that? CFS or something. And huge benefits in regards to bringing energy, and on it goes for athletes, for sick people, for even muscle atrophy. I mean, it's just for hormones. It's good for so many things. It's just kind of ridiculous, and it saved my life, so that's why I use it very, very regularly. I think it's going to change the world personally. Can we get clean soybean milk in the United States? Actually, in my opinion, yes. I bought it before, or you can make it yourself. Digestion, SIBO, yes. Like I said, hydrogen is amazing for that, but so is all this fiber and all this good stuff that I'm putting in these smoothies, in my opinion. So you might want to try that. Intersection says, okay, so I should try hydrogen. How do I pick one? Okay, so when it comes to hydrogen, you definitely want to do the correct one, because unfortunately, all these products almost come from China. They use crappy metals, cheap membranes, chemicals like lye or sodium hydroxide. You don't want any of that stuff. So the cleanest one, there's only like 3 good machines literally in the whole world, even though they sell hundreds of them out there. I only use the best because, for many reasons, but the website is called www.holyhydrogen.com. That is the best machine, hands down. It is Japanese made, so there's none of these Chinese ones. They're actually #1 in Japan, and top specialists and doctors in Japan, that's the only one they'll use or recommend. Though the Japanese have a second machine that's good, but it has reliability issues. You can't even get it in America anyway. So yeah, but you can check out Holy Hydrogen. In fact, if you want a discount code, you can let me know and I can give you a discount code. And the machine's super awesome because it doesn't just make the water. You can also inhale the gas, and it's super good for your lungs. There's actually a great video out there of somebody who used the wrong hydrogen machine and he damaged his lungs, and then he used the right one. He got scared of hydrogen. Then he used the right one, which is the one I use, the number one in all of Japan. And he's like, oh my gosh, it totally healed his lungs, and he felt super, super great. So that was pretty cool. So hopefully that answers your question. And then, yeah, and if you want to try one discount code, Uprising144K, the name of the channel should work. Josh says, the way tofu is processed in America, there's a lot of chemicals. Yeah, you got to be really cautious. Says, I'm plant-based. Yeah, and you need tofu, you need beans. In my opinion, you absolutely need those to be healthy if you're a vegetarian. Do you remember which soy milk you use in America? When I looked at the ingredients, you can either make your own, but if you look at ingredients, absolutely, obviously you look for one that's organic, non-GMO, but always look at ingredients, because in America, they want to add processed sugar to everything. Get the unsweetened kind, okay? And I think I used to use one called Silk that was unsweetened. Kimmy Joe says, I get mine on Wednesday and can't wait. There you go. I mean, you're going to love it. Watch my video 337, watch video 426, and watch video 388. Maybe somebody write that down to help everybody out there. And then Josh says, they use hexane in tofu. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. All right, guys. So did anybody want to take a vote? Do you think that this thing will actually blend this, or is it going to get stuck and burn up my blender? Which it might. Now, actually, what I was trying to do here was make a little bit of more room for water, or I could use more of this milk. You know what? Just because I don't want to go grab the hydrogen water right now, I'm going to put a little bit more, because this is the high fat, high protein smoothie today. This is just plain, well, ridiculous. This thing is so full of so many good things. And I'm really going to enjoy my breakfast today. All right, let's go. Whoa, did you guys expect that? Can you guys even see that? Let's see here. Oops. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, somebody says, blenders are so loud. Yeah, dude already watched all of them. Dude, I already watched all of them. Okay, very good. Dave says, I have H machine for 3 years now, and it's great. Oh yeah, they're life-changing. Periodically, I got to give it a break, because what kind of blender is that? Well, this is a Vitamix. There's two blenders that I use and recommend. I wasn't able to bring the one from the US that I wanted, and this one's actually just this one that this lady actually already had here, so that made my life easier, because these things are heavy and big to carry. But I will say that I have a vacuum blender that I really like, and it just brings everything to a whole other level, because it doesn't allow the oxygen to oxidize all this food, and you should see the science on that. It takes a lot to convince someone like me of things like that, but you can literally taste the difference, see the difference, and I've been making smoothies for years. So, all right, let's keep blending. So I can tell already by the way that it's moving that it's really thick, and then I'm going to have to add water to it. So I'll show you what I would normally do, okay? You can see the bottom moves way faster than the top. That means it's just super thick. Smells like it's, yeah, I hope I'm not burning this thing up. If I break this thing, I'm gonna have to buy this lady a new blender. Okay, so this is what I normally do. Let's see if you guys can see this, because I do have to do this a lot, so maybe you guys might end up running into the same thing. So what I do, because again, really thick, And that's okay, but I like it to be a kind of a perfect consistency. So what I do, I'll use some of it up. And then I'll do a taste test too, just in case I want to add something to it. Oh, wow. This one turned out really good today. So now what I'm going to do, grab some hydrogen water again. So I'm going to add more hydrogen water to this. And that should be just about right. Best Japanese machine. It's actually the best Japanese, it's the best hydrogen machine in the world. For people who don't know, the Japanese is the mecca of hydrogen. And like I told you before, they're also water, like big time water experts in here. They know so much about water. It's kind of unbelievable. They literally have different water for rice, different water for cooking different foods, different water for drinking, different water. Like, you should see the machines they have here. These guys are next level when it comes to water. And it's real. I was invited to this restaurant, and they were talking about how amazing the restaurant was. They're also just masterful chefs. And they were like, do you know why this guy's rice tastes so good? Because it did. It tasted so good. They're like, obviously, he gets really clean rice. I think they grow the best rice in the world here in Japan. And then you combine that with the right water, unbelievable taste. Well, one more time and that's it. Guys, breakfast is served. Some of this I'll actually enhance. I'm going to show you how I can enhance it with, again, hydrogen water. You'll be surprised how I do that. Hold on one second. Move the camera so I can read your comments. In case you guys have some questions. Let's see here. I got to put down my smoothie. I was a little afraid to put this thing down considering this fly that's still out here somewhere. Where is he? Okay. Stinker. All right. Actually, do you guys just want to see the secret now? All right, I'll show you the secret now. So this is what I do. Take a jar. Got the camera pointed the wrong direction. This is a secret for those who want to store the hydrogen and or enhance it, by the way. So what we do is we get the smoothie. Now in the US, I had a vacuum sealer. Well, I would vacuum the smoothie, it keeps it fresher. It's actually way better. Same method, except you would vacuum seal it. But here in Japan, I don't have it. I don't have my own home. So one of these days, I'm going to get my own home and I'll have my whole setup going on. But that's why I'm always adapting and having to make things work. Okay, so this is what you actually do to enhance it. You actually cut the smoothie with hydrogen water. Just that much. This will greatly enhance the smoothie. Because not only do you see how hydrogen deals with free radicals, but you should see the way it moves the blood. Watch my video 68. I've had numerous doctors telling me that what I showed on that video, and it's a live blood analysis video, they said that what I was showing was impossible and that it was a scam. And then I had one doctor go as far as, she's like, you know what I'm going to do? Oh, jeez, I can tell that this thing still needs more water. All right, well, we might put a little more water in it then. This one doctor went as far as buying the same exact machine they used in that study, which was the Hydrofix, the Japanese machine. Like I said, in Japan, there's a reason it's #1 in Japan. When things are #1 in Japan, everybody knows it's the best. And this person literally bought the same, and by the way, I'm going to put this in the fridge right now. They bought the same exact, oh boy, what? I just found some smoothie from yesterday, which means I'm going to have to finish this one. I made it for someone and didn't finish it all. Well, alrighty. Let's just drink that now. In fact, I'm gonna put some water in it. Hold on. If I had in the back of my head. So this doctor went out and bought the same exact machine. She found all the parameters, everything exactly the way they performed that study, and because she wanted to prove me wrong, she went out of her way to try to prove me wrong. And she said, "If I prove you wrong, will you do a video retracting what you showed?" And I said, "Yeah," because she thought it was misleading. And I said, "Of course, because I'm only after the truth." And then she did the study, and she got back to me. She said, "I cannot believe it. The results came back exactly the same." She goes, "This hydrogen stuff's the real deal." I said, "I've been trying to tell people for years." Yeah, that smoothie tastes good. Okay, this one's really good today, though. I want to put some more hydrogen water in there. It's a little thick still. Let's try that. Hold on. Sometimes I wish I had 3 hands. Only because of this fly around here. Just don't want them landing in there without me seeing it and blending them up. All right, well, I used up all their hydrogen water. That hydrogen water machine actually was already here. So a lot of people in Japan have that machine. And you should see this old lady. She's in such good health. It's crazy. She said she drinks that hydrogen water every single day. And she loves farming. Okay, I think farming is great if you're not using chemicals. When you're using chemicals, it seems to actually kill the farmers. All right, last one. All right, well, that was easy enough. Let's put this away. And then if you guys, I'll read your last comments and answer any last questions. And I got to follow the rules here too. She always wants me to unplug it. I'm like, I got to unplug it every time. She wants me to, and it's just all these little weird rules. But, you know, that's what you get when you live in somebody's home. I mean, I got weird rules, but some of them don't make any sense to me, guys. But hey, like they say, I don't make the rules, I just follow. All right. Okay, so I'm going to read your questions here. While I drink my high protein, high fat, high fiber, high mineral, high nutrient, anti-parasitic smoothie. I got just this thing here. Actually, you know what? This is way too high. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to adjust this. And I got to do it in such a way where I can actually read your comments. So that way, if you guys have questions, I can answer them. Okay. This is actually my favorite time where I can just sit down and relax. All right, let's see here. Last questions. Let's see. Kimuijo says, what kind of blender is that? I think, whoops, I already answered that. Okay, Josh says, I thought about getting an osmosis filter. Okay, so this is the thing about water filters. Oh, there's a fly. Gosh dang it. Let me go grab my racket and protect my glass. Give me a second. This guy's about to go down. Where'd he go? Get back here. Where are you? Okay. I tell you, every time I grab this racket, he disappears. I'm gonna set it right here, like a holster. Just have it ready to roll. Okay, where'd he go? Anywhere? I got my little basket of stuff here, see? My little basket of all the stuff I use for my smoothies. You guys want to see something cute? I was telling them how cute it was yesterday. This is like a little Japanese snack, but it's made to look like, there's these tops that you take off, like they're actually big and they're filled with like rice or different things. And it's made to look like a ceramic or a wooden dish that they make in Japan to make food. But when you open it, it's full of, what's crazy, this is supposed to be a treat, like a candy. And this is a cookie, basically, you can eat it, but It's filled with bean paste. That's one of the funny things about the Japanese. They use beans for their desserts. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Oh yeah. I'll show you something else really magical that goes super well with this smoothie. I brought this with me. This stuff, I did a video on this, the science behind this. Unbelievable. And I'm telling you right now, the Japanese know all about minerals. This is boron, but it's in its ionic form. Ionic form is way better from all the research I've been doing. And these guys are way ahead of the curve because they were doing it before the research had even come out. And their theories made sense. I have a lot of theories that have been proven true throughout the years also. But either way, this stuff is super good for increasing like testosterone, like basically really good hormone levels for both men and women, testosterone, estrogen, all the good stuff. So I put 1 ml in my smoothie. Now, if the smoothie has fats like this, even better. Because lately, and I wanted to prove to people, because some people, you know, I'm thin, and people think that you can't gain weight on the type of diet that I am. So I was like, all right, you really want me to prove it to you? So in a very short period of time, I think it was as little as a month, I gained like, gosh, 12 pounds of muscle at least. And even got a little leaner. So it is possible. So let's see here. You can see some like carbon distilled water. She gave me these glass jugs. Well, she's letting me use them. In Japan, they have a lot of glass jugs. They're actually made for making plum wine. They have a lot of really cool old school stuff in Japan. Okay, so talking about water. Josh said he wanted to get a reverse osmosis filter. In my opinion, would it be a good idea to get one? Sure. I mean, look, they are going to filter a lot of stuff out. Are they the best? No. Now, I'm all about the best. It doesn't mean that you can't filter some of your water and it'd be good for you. I'm all for that. And they're really cheap. Now, what I did in the US is I would have a reverse osmosis filter. I would take that water and then I would put that in my distiller. And then the distiller will finish the job. Again, watch my video 388. I know all about how to clean water. And I'll tell you one thing that people don't know. No water filtration system in existence, in my opinion, will get all viruses, all bacteria, and all parasites out of water except distillation. So I filter it, then I distill it. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Kitra Eful says, does hydrogen water help CIRS, chronic inflammatory reaction syndrome, from mold, illness, and other mycotoxins? In my opinion, it helps a great deal. There is actual research on hydrogen and its effect on mold as far as helping with the toxicity of it, the inflammation of it. I've known people personally use it for such things. So in my opinion, absolutely. And then of course, you want to do certain protocols to really try to improve your health, but does it have a very positive effect? Yeah, like without a shadow of a doubt. I know at least one person had allergies to mold and it saved their life, the hydrogen. Josh says, I've been making smoothies for years too. Hey, good for you, bud. I just add water to my smoothie. Yeah, I do a lot of water too. I just recently been doing the bean milk because the lady's been making it for me. Otherwise, I don't normally do it. The reason that I did the hydrogen water was because there was a study in Japan where they were literally, it was so crazy, guys. They were taking food, like let's say they would take something like this, and they would measure the antioxidative power of the fruit or vegetable or whatever food it is. Then they would soak the food in hydrogen water, and then they would test it again. The antioxidative power, the nutrients basically, well, just the antioxidant power, but there's more to it than that, just went through the roof. I mean, it transformed that vegetable. And so I was like, well, geez, I got a bunch of hydrogen water. I might as well soak it in my food. Here, hold on one second, guys. Give me 1 second here. So it was pretty wild. And again, where is this fly? Okay, well, let's see how much battery power I got because I'm almost going to be done here. Somebody says, is there chocolate in it? There's not chocolate in this one, not in beans, but they do have this one. choco maroon. See, they have all these little tiny little treats. Now this one's actually bigger than normal. Look at this thing. They brought this. Now this is kind of sad actually, but if you guys learn about Japanese culture, gosh, they have all these like really beautifully, it's always beautifully boxed and wrapped. And this was from a funeral. And they give these little treats. There's a little rum raisin treat. I don't think these are like super healthy. Are they healthier than the American ones? Sure. And look how they have it wrapped like very old fashioned. They make it look like a pot. They really have held on to their traditions in Japan. They're very old school. I mean, when I say old school, I won't even get started on the differences of America and Japan, because some of them, might literally flag your channel. Oh, I can't believe you think that men or women should do this or that or whatever. This is just vitamin D3 with K2. A lot of people don't understand, they look for vitamin K and things, but they don't understand that your body actually, in your gut, if you have a healthy gut, you produce it. So that's why all these fiber and nutrients and hydrogen and eliminating chemicals to keep your gut health optimal. I'm so into that. And actually, vitamin D works really good with fats. So I'm going to take my little vitamin D this morning. It's the one nutrient that's extremely difficult to get out of your food. I'll take some of that. Okay. So chocolate. Yeah, and you put raw cacao in my smoothies in America too. Because here I'm doing the green matcha, but in America I was putting the raw cacao because I found bags of it organic, really cheap. And yes, they have really good minerals, but it's been shown to activate stem cells. So I'd put that in the smoothie too. Again, you just modify your smoothie wherever you're at, whatever you can find. Okay. Josh says, I don't like my thick. Yeah, the smoothie. I like it perfect consistency. I'm enjoying this though, quite a bit. Okay, Josh says, I put a piece of beet for color in my smoothie. I use a bullet blender. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I used to put beets every single day until I got to Japan because they're so hard to find and then they're kind of silly expensive. And I thought, well, I'll take a break from beets. I've been doing beets for years. Intersection says, there are so many hydrogen machines, some with alkaline. Okay, let me tell you right now. In my opinion, those ones that make the water alkaline are not actually a real hydrogen machine. Okay, you have to understand this, that there was data in Japan where they actually saw people who were using hydrogen machines that would transform the water to alkaline, causing gut issues because your stomach is designed to be acidic, and when you ionize the water, that ionization disrupts the stomach acids. So they were showing short-term benefit, so everybody was like, oh, look, it works. But then in the long-term usage, causing problems. And if you want to understand hydrogen, pure hydrogen is actually pH neutral. So if you're making it correctly, like medically, the way the medical professionals make it here, it's got to be pH neutral. So anything that's doing an alkaline, they're just a bunch of dummies in my opinion, and they don't know what they're doing. And they're not true hydrogen experts. I mean, hence the whole reason I created this channel was to really help you guys understand and navigate this whole thing, because it is confusing. And everybody and their mother now has a hydrogen machine, and it's kind of wild. Most of them are really from China. They're, in my opinion, absolute trash. I wouldn't even use them for free. I'd rather just not use them. So somebody says, why did I move to Japan? Well, look, the reason that it's a very long answer is there's a lot of spiritual connotations or reasons for me coming to Japan. And I believe that water is very spiritual. And I'm here for the water. And I also came here to learn more about hydrogen and even more about health. I mean, they're masterful here. I don't think you guys, I don't know how much you know, but there's things that they know here that we just don't know. And they do studies on the most interesting things. I wish I had my books here to show you. But I'm here for the water. I can literally walk from where I'm at, a block and a half, guys, because I'm going to leave after this video. A block and a half. They have hot springs. I'm going to be going and soaking in rich mineral hot springs from deep within the earth. No tap water, no chemicals, just pure hot springs. And then they have a cold spring, and then you get into the cold, and there's a way to do it. And I don't expect anybody to understand because I know I wouldn't have had I not experienced it. There's a technique that I developed, and this is why I'm here. That you can basically have some really wild, meditative, spiritual experiences by using water in specific ways. And I know it probably sounds like cuckoo stuff, but hey, it feels so good. Pretty much can't deny it. It feels too good. So I'm gonna have myself a good day today. Today is really gonna be a nice day for me. Okay. And I can probably talk more about why I really came here, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Dub Eye says, what's in your smoothie? I missed, oh my gosh, I missed the first half. Well, I would suggest rewinding the video and watching, because I just think that that's the best way to go about it and check everything that I put in there. Some of them, I don't even know the name of some of these vegetables, to be quite honest with you. I just grabbed them because they're all in Japanese, guys. So I just, grab whatever. Okay. Let's see here. What is, somebody said chocolate in your drink? Yeah, I put, not right now, but I definitely put raw cacao in my smoothies for a long time. Kimijo says, my gut is really bad and I'm hoping the hydrogen water will clear it up. Well, what I would do, Kimijo, first, clean your water. Because, oh, you know what? Hold on a second. I think I see that flag. Oh, wait. Here, hold on a second. Okay, never mind. Okay, so to heal the gut, and I gotta tell you, now remember, no medical advice here, and no medical claims, but I will tell you, in my opinion, well, my gut was all screwed up too back in the day, but I have helped so many people with their gut issues. I've worked with people who have spent into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, granted, and they had these years for these problems for 17 years, 20 something years, 30 something years, gone to all these health gurus and all this stuff, could not fix it. And it took 6 to 8 months. But my protocol, I'm just gonna share a few things. You can do whatever you wanna do. There's a lot of things that mess up your gut. In my opinion, a lot of it is chemicals and diet. And so I'm gonna go over some of the things and you guys can just whatever. And by the way, thanks for all the thumbs up though. Gosh, we only have 9 thumbs up. Wow, okay. First things first, learn to clean your water. Why? Because if I had my lab report here, which I've shown many times on my channel, the craziest stuff in your water that's affecting your gut. So first, learn to clean your water. That's video 388. Okay, you get that out of the way. Hydrogen. Yes, hydrogen is actually ridiculously amazing for the gut. But if you want to accelerate your results, or if you have a real serious problem, in my opinion, you want to eliminate some things. The big things to eliminate are 1, seed oils. Gotta start looking at all ingredients. So basically any stir-fried food, pan-fried food, deep-fried food, anything fried food is gonna just absolutely destroy your gut. So if you're deep frying or pan frying or cooking with oil, that's gonna be one of your issues. The other issue is, let's say you were to buy something and you look at the ingredients. Oh, there's a fly. Oh, gee, Christmas, where are you? Oh, I see him. Where did you go? Sorry. Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought, because this little guy seems to be have it out for me. He just wants to lay some eggs. Hold on. Where are you? Gosh, where'd he go? It just pops up and then disappears. And I bet you he's just like a fly on the wall, right? Just sitting somewhere. Whatever. All right. Okay, guys. Back to this. So, look at the ingredients of your food. All my foods, like in the US, I've done millions of videos like this. You look at the ingredients, and if it says something like palm oil, canola oil, olive oil, coconut oil, any of these processed oils, then don't eat it, because those oils most likely have been heated. When they get heated, it transforms them and can be really bad. Now, see, I want to clarify something, because if you take extra virgin olive oil, not normal olive oil, because when they do the second process, they use chemicals to extract the oil. So if you were to do extra virgin olive oil from really clean olives, and it was, cold pressed, and you got some oil out of it, and you put some of that on your salad, in my opinion, that's fine. If you heat it is where the problems begin, or the chemicals they use to extract even more oils. So there's very few oils, in my opinion, that are safe and proper to eat. So hopefully that helps you, Kimijo. So you eliminate the oils, then you eliminate the processed sugar. So always look for ingredients. If there's sugar in something, just avoid it. All my ingredients, when I look at my stuff, is always like, this just has, let's say, oats for oatmeal. This just has, walnuts. This is just the actual, the vegetable. Like everything that I get pretty much just has one ingredient. Like my green matcha is just green tea. So they're very, very simple ingredients. Like a lot of this stuff, I don't eat this stuff in the US especially. The Japanese are more careful, but there's still sometimes things in there that I'm not real fond of. So a lot of fiber to rebuild your gut, a lot of hydrogen water, hydrogen inhalation, and just clean water and eliminating the things that I'm talking about. And then it's up to you, but I really like this nutritional powder from Purium called Power Shake. So it gives you your nutrients, a lot of minerals, and then the only thing that I would always supplement is you got to get vitamin D. Vitamin D is too important, and you're just not going to get it from your food. Just not going to happen. You're not going to get enough of it. All right, well, that being said, let's keep moving on. I just did kind of a consult there. Yep, there's that fly again. Where is he doing? Is he just flying around in circles? Where are you, buddy? Yeah, buddy. I'm going to have to cover my glass here for a second when he's flying around. All right, well, I don't see him again. Intersection says, I appreciate you sharing. Still trying to locate the one you were suggesting. Holy water? Yeah, it's holyhydrogen.com. Oh, there's that fly again. Jeez, just land somewhere already. It just keeps flying around. It's like doing flybys. I feel like he's just flying by to see if he can land on my glass. He's after me. Holy hydrogen. Can somebody spell it out for him? It's HOLY, then HYDROGEN, holyhydrogen.com. Not crazy complicated. And then if you want a discount code, just let me know and I'll try to look one for you. Okay, listening to you describing your water experience makes me envious. Well, believe me, I was actually very envious of healthy people. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I went through hell. My health was just, it was horrible. I mean, that's what changed my life, and that's why I'm doing these videos. Actually, that's how it all really happened. Intersection says, your tube page, lots to see. Yeah, I got tons of information about it. Kimijo, I bought the distiller and the hydro machine also. Oh, well, there you go. You're on your way already. And you just have to do a proper protocol. I don't do any seed oil, dairy, fried, or grains. I only do veggies and fruit and protein. Well, that sounds really good. So then it's just a matter of how you do the hydrogen protocol, making sure you don't have nutritional deficiencies, and then just, eating, sleeping right time, doing some exercise, this type of stuff, and rebuild it. And then, okay, there you go. So you have everything you need from what I'm seeing. I think the next time we talk, it's going to be what they call a testimonial video, because I've done so many testimonials, so many people's lives changed. And I feel, really happy about it. So I'm really glad that people, and honestly, I'm actually just very grateful for the Japanese that created that hydrogen machine, because that's the one, I mean, I do a lot of other things for my health, but that's the one thing that just changed it all. And there's just no other machine like it. People just don't understand hydrogen enough. They think they're just running some electricity through water. I'll tell you, there's dangerous things to ionization also, in my opinion. All right. Okay, guys, well, I think I'm running out of battery juice. I'm still going to be drinking my smoothie. If you guys still want me to hang around, I can leave the camera on a little longer. And if one of you see the fly, let me know, because that guy, I feel bad for him. But you know what? Their lives are short anyway, aren't they? All right. Personally, I think he should stay outside. That's where he belongs. All right. Dove Eye says, I love your excitement about the water. There, can't wait to hear more. Well, which water? I mean, if you're talking about the hot spring water, you're talking about the hydrogen water, you're talking about clean water. I mean, I'm telling you right now, the age of Aquarius is among us, and the age of Aquarius has to do with the knowledge of water and how it's going to change the world. I mean, we're talking about so many things you can do well with water. I don't even know if you can begin to imagine. I never, in a million years, I never thought that I would have a darn right, quote unquote, spiritual experience. Yeah, I don't want to get into religion. Let's just say like euphoria and just these experiences that can happen from water. I'm like, what? You know, I thought people took other things to have those type of experience, not water. And it's crazy because if you look at the Qumran, this very highly spiritual place that was discovered where these people called the Essenes, and apparently even Jesus was there and all this stuff. They had all these tubs that they were using for water. I think this whole notion of baptism, not to be like religious, but I think there's definitely truth in there. And I think that they were using water in unique ways. And me personally, I've been doing some things with it. They just are blowing my mind. Like when I say blowing my mind, like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever be able to leave the water here. I mean, this is why I came to live here, you know? And the other thing that's really powerful, like our bodies are primarily made of water. And people being kind, like, you know, when somebody yells at you or talks mean to you, it doesn't feel good because you're this body of water. And the kindness, you know, I'm sure you can go to different parts of Japan, but you know, I'm in a very like remote area, a lot of farmers, a lot of old school Japanese. So I mean, I'm pretty old school. People here are way, way, way old school, and just very old fashioned. And just when I say old fashioned, like just simple courtesy and kindness, and then for me, a lot of it just goes like beyond courtesy. I mean, this lady making me milk every day and all these vegetables that she shares with me all the time, and she doesn't need to do that. Though I do, what am I doing for her, really? Jeez, what am I doing? What am I doing for her? I mean, I was doing little things here and there, but I'm trying to remember. Like, yeah, sometimes I drive her to the store and things like that because she can't see real well. Um, oh, I would maybe do dishes and stuff like that. And of course, I give her money. I mean, I do give her money. And I think she appreciates that. You know, contrary to popular belief, a lot of people don't know that the Japanese, a lot of them are actually quite poor. I was actually going to record the ghettos here. I mean, there's ghettos here in Japan where I'm at because I kind of live. I mean, this is a very poor area where I'm living, but yet it's super clean. People are super respectful, and everything's actually really nice. It may be the ghetto, but the buildings are not real nice. The housing is old and not very nice and run down and stuff. There's literally these cats that are just like the I don't know if I want to call them the alley cats, but they hang out near the hot spring, and they're almost like the town therapy cats because everybody, I'm telling you, everybody brings them like little food. Everybody wants to pet them. And of course, there's all these flies around. I think it's gross, and I don't want to touch those guys, but they are very cute. And they're always hanging out there by the hot spring because it's warm. They love the heat anyway. I'm telling you, it's just fun. It's just nice here. And you know, it's funny how people value. I know people value money, which I understand, and people like really fancy cars and watches and clothes, and none of that stuff means that much to me, to be quite honest with you. Money is important because it buys me the food that I want and need, but I live a very, very quote unquote humble lifestyle because the things that bring me the greatest joy are the things that you pretty much can't put a price tag on, and that is health. My health, my ability. Like, this is so ridiculous. You guys want to hear how ridiculous this gets for me? The old lady here, I don't have a bike, and she's like, "Well, I got a bike you can use," because she doesn't use it or something. It's in the garage, so I open up her garage, and it's a pink bike. It's an old pink bike with like this basket, you know, in the front of it. It's not probably the best looking bike, and it's a girl's bike, whatever. That's what I ride around in. I'm rolling around in a pink girl's bike all around town here because I'm always riding around here doing different things. But I just enjoy riding around town and enjoy myself around here. But it is kind of funny that I'm on that bike. I don't know how many people are judging me because of it, but it's like, hey, I need a bike. And then finally one of her friends said, well, I got one that's not pink. And she brought one that's gray, which would have been better. except the thing is so run down. Riding that bike is like twice as hard as a pink one, and I'm like, I'll just take the pink one. Anyway, so Dove Eyes says, I love your excitement about, oh yeah, water, we already went to that. Kimijo says, I'm going to do videos from start to finish once I'm well. Hey, good for you. There you go. Barbara says, WRT, the hydrogen protocol. I don't know what that means. Do you have a video on this? Sorry, I just got on. Well, okay, so I hope that this is really understood, because other people have not listened to my cautions. And again, I don't give medical advice. And they didn't heed the caution. And yes, people have gotten sick. In fact, I wish I could share the video with you guys of even one guy who posted it. He was using, what people try to do is they try to take my hydrogen protocol, and then they use the wrong equipment to follow it. And I'm not kidding you. I've seen people do some serious damage to themselves. So my hydrogen protocol is based on the equipment that I used. Cannot emphasize that enough. Okay. So that being said, it's based on it because of the way it makes the hydrogen levels, the way that you are to consume it, the whole thing. Like there's machines out there that literally use, I just think this is insane, but they literally use lye, sodium hydroxide. And then those machines, people inhale the gases, but they started drinking the water because they watched my videos and they started telling everybody my protocol, and people had some very bad things happen to them. So you just have to be careful. So with that being said, video 337 showcases a lot of the protocol, but my protocols are based also on the individual, depending on what pharmaceuticals you might be on, what medical conditions you might have, diet, because some people just want to be on a certain diet and they want to fight about it. And so there's a lot of different things and factors. So I'm just saying it's not just one protocol fits all, but 337 is kind of a really good video for that. So, and then somebody says I don't know what WRT means with regards to, oh, that's what it means. With regards to the hydrogen protocol, do you have a video on this? Yeah, 337. I would also watch 388. And if you do get the equipment that I use, watch 426, because when you have equipment, kind of like a car is a piece of equipment. If you get a really good car that can go like 1,000,000 miles, which you have to find the right one to do such a thing. When you get the right type of car, you need to know the right type of maintenance, like the right type of oil to use for the engine, how often you should change it to go 1,000,000 miles. The machine that I recommend is very much like that. It is one of those 1,000,000-mile type of machines, Japanese. It's like the Toyota of hydrogen. And so you really want to know how to treat it right. And it took me years to figure out the do's and don'ts, and that's video 426, how to take care of it. Because also, in order for it to produce, this goes with any equipment, produce maximum hydrogen so that you get these benefits for long term, because hydrogen is like a nutrient. You don't just take, vitamin D one day. These are things you don't just drink clean water one day. These are habits. Hydrogen becomes a part of your habit, and you want to maintain the equipment properly. Okay, give me 1 second. Where'd that fly? Thought you were in here. Where do you go? Okay. Well, guys, this was a long hangout session today, but you got to learn something, I hope. I always wanted to put avocados in my smoothie, and, well, now I have. I've been doing it for a couple days now, and it's been great. By the way, this racket, you guys see the electric racket? You can it actually can also fold into like a lamp, I guess. And at nighttime, you turn it on and flies fly right into it because they're drawn to the light. It's kind of cool. Okay, well, look at this. I can't believe this. They actually had a word in English, organic. This is the natto beans. This stuff is so good for you. It's crazy. If you guys want to do research on natto, Natto, you will find so many research studies on this food. Quite possibly the #1 superfood in existence. So good. And the Japanese have been eating it forever. Super good for your gut too, by the way. Kimijo. Kimijo says, appreciate you. Thank you for the information. Well, you're very welcome. And yeah, guys, with that, I can let you go unless you guys have any last questions or if you just want to hang. I'm still going to keep drinking my smoothie here for a little bit. But I can certainly say goodbye. No problems on my end. Yeah, the old lady here really likes her little treats. She doesn't eat like a ton of them, right? She's not like eating donuts and coffee for breakfast or anything like that. But this one really looked tempting to me. Like, oh, this chocolate thing. It's chocolate covered with chocolate with a center made of chocolate. And I'm like, oh my God, it's just chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. I'm all drooling over it. Let's see here. Dove Eye says, do you know a good natto we can get in the States? So here's the tricky part for those in the United States. You have to go to either a Japanese food store, Chinese food store, or Korean food store. And look in the freezer section. These have to be frozen because it's got this live bacteria. Kind of like the enzymes. You know, a lot of people sell enzymes and they don't even refrigerate them. They're supposed to be refrigerated. I don't know if you guys know that. And a lot of people don't know that the Japanese have like the #1 enzyme technology in the world. It's kind of interesting. And so anyway, look for natto. Preferably, see this little symbol here? This little symbol, this is in Japan how I look for stuff. That means organic. And then there's this one, actually. This one just says organic. But, yeah. And then look, you know, obviously try to make sure it's non-GMO and all that good stuff. But, yeah, this stuff is incredible. I love natto. And it has that special enzyme called natto kinase. I won't say what it's good for because then they'll get into claims and I don't, you know, need any, I don't, you know, they're always trying to get my channel to go down. So that's why we got to be careful, guys, so that people can keep getting this good information. Dove Eyes says, Kimijo says detox. Well, I'll tell you, as far as detox is concerned, this isn't a surprise you. I really want to talk about microplastics. I'll probably do it on a separate video because this video was about the high-fat smoothie. But detoxification, in my opinion, clean water, so you're not toxifying yourself with the water. Hydrogen, in my opinion, you should see the things that it activates, and it basically, the research is suggesting that it helps you detox from different pathways, just, you know, the free radical damage that it neutralizes or appears to neutralize, blah, 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 blah. And then you'd be surprised. Fiber. You'll be absolutely shocked, and you can do the research, that fiber is really good for the detoxification process. You know, fiber, maybe I'll pull like, I don't know if you guys saw this, I'm just being silly now, but if you saw the Kamala Harris speech where she talks about time, is really interesting because time happens when things are moving in time. Anyway, she just like basically said nothing. I was like, what is she talking about? I feel like I'm sounding the same way now. Fiber is a real good detoxifier, but actually it really helps sweep the colon. So it cleans, and look, you need to keep your GI system, Kamijo, really healthy. That woman is nuts. Yeah, that's what she said. I'm just reading her comment. But basically, I'm always doing a lot of forms of detoxification, but it's just part of my lifestyle. So fiber, water, of course, hydrogen, making sure that you overcome all your nutritional deficiencies. But then I also do a lot of sweating. I do the hot springs. Oh, you sweat a lot in there, or saunas, and then even exercise. So fiber, is so important because fiber has all this fibrous kind of fiber within it. Oh my God, I should not impersonate Kamala Harris. That poor lady. I feel bad for her. You know, I mean, can you imagine being hated that much? Oh, that would just darn right embarrassing. You know what's really shocking though? I shouldn't even bring up politics actually, but I find it amusing. If you go back and look at old footage of her, and when I say old footage, like, I don't know, many, many, many years ago, I mean, I believe she's some type of attorney or DA or something. And she was talking to somebody from the news about a case or something. She was totally speaking coherently, normal, like everything was totally fine. And I thought it was kind of surprising, you know? I was like, wait a second. She's talking normal. And now she just sounds like a bubbling buffoon. Maybe I shouldn't say this either, actually. maybe she's near somebody who has something that's contagious. Maybe it's like a parasite or a bacteria of the brain. Maybe they got bit by a tick. I don't know, but something happened because I don't know. Now she can't talk straight. So I don't know what's going on, but anyway, not to go down that road, guys. Kimi just says, we are watching a nightmare movie. Get your popcorn. Yeah, well, you know, I personally, I shouldn't even get into what I think personally. I'm good. I will say that I like very independent thinkers of high intelligence and things that make sense and asking questions and being transparent. And, you know, I think all these things are important personally and nothing complicated, you know. And I try to make my health protocols as, you know, as simple as I possibly can. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Just because I'm here, I'm going to move some of the water. I could show you guys how I'm filtering my water here if you want. I got the process going. I'll treat my water like, yeah, I'm just really big on cleanliness. Well, I'm a germaphobe. I think I've told you guys that before. I tend not to try to talk about it too much, but, you know, I'll say semi-germaphobe, you know, because I understand how bacteria and viruses, and I know how these things work, you know. Kimijo says, do you cook your beets or blend them raw? Oh, I definitely blend them raw. I like them raw. They're very sweet. And I just love the taste and the texture, and even the colors are beautiful. But definitely, yeah. But obviously here in Japan, I don't have any of that in there. I was lucky to find the blueberries I found. I just got to make sure I don't buy anything from China. That's what's so weird about all these hydrogen machines. So many of them are for China, and people think they'll be good for you. And the more I research and discover about these machines, the scarier it gets. That's why I had used, for people who don't know, I had used other hydrogen machines in the past, many of them, and they weren't improving my conditions. And I obviously was going to give up on it, but I read so much data on it. I thought, is there really a better way to make hydrogen? And when I started following all the science, then it led to this Japanese machine, and I thought, does it make that big of a difference? And then I would always contact companies. I noticed that nobody knew what the heck they were talking about. When I contacted the Japanese, they knew exactly what they were talking about. They were so detail-oriented and things that not only made sense in the science, and they even had their own lab. And it was just awesome. Dove says, I'm a germaphobe also. See, there you go. I'm glad. You know what? There we go. It's, you know, fist bump. Here, hold on. I'll be right back. I'm going to heat up some here. All right. Like I said, I'm going to have me a good day, guys. As soon as I'm done with this smoothie, I am going to go to the hot springs and take off all my clothes and soak in the hot, warm springs. It kind of feels like you're like in the womb again. It's just so comforting, and it's warm in the water. Oh man, and right now it's actually raining, and they have outdoor hot springs, so I'm going to be outside. And I put my whole body up to my neck, and then your head gets kind of rained on. It feels kind of nice, actually, just a little cool water. Kimijo says, what is your take on heavy metal toxicity and doing the hydro water? Again, I mean, we go back to the same thing, Kimijo. Clean water and the hydrogen with all this fiber really pulls all these heavy metals out of you. That's my opinion. I'm telling you, you can even do the research. You'd be surprised how amazing fiber is. But then again, also the clean water and the hydrogen. The only other thing that you might really want to look into, and I have a video on it, is the minerals. There's these minerals that from this company. I love this company, actually. Concentrates Minerals. Just type in on YouTube how to mineralize distilled water, and my video should be one of the top 3 or 5. And there's a link there for the product, and it's a bigger bottle. I would definitely add, and I've shown on video how to do it. You definitely want to add it to your smoothie because it works with the minerals, with the fiber. The minerals and fiber work synergistically. And if you can't add it to your water, and that's going to be really, really good for things to function properly, and even for the, in my opinion, the detox process. Dove says, I'm into the spiritual ways of water also. Well, there you go, my friend. Yeah, I mean, you know, you just didn't, I wouldn't have never thought that it would have made a difference. But as I said, there's so many ways to use water and so many things you can do with it. And some of the things I believe I actually want to, oh, I don't think I should talk about it right now, actually. But yeah, let's just say very, very magical stuff. So you add it to your distilled water after making it. Yeah, so what I would do is, because when you distill your water, you've eliminated all the minerals. You put this water in the hydrogen machine, make your hydrogen water, and then you take the drops, put them in a cup, and then you pour the hydrogen water right into that cup and just drink that up. So you're using the hydrogen with the minerals. They work really beautifully synergistically. Intersection says, I realize you can't put a price on health. The hydrogen machine is kind of pricey. I know we want the best, but is there a more entry-level machine that you can mention? I hate to tell you that. I've been asked this question a million times. The unfortunate answer is no. But there is some good news, even though that machine's expensive. One thing you probably don't realize is how expensive it takes to make actually what they call medical grade hydrogen. Back in the day, it was so expensive you wouldn't even believe it. So 20 something $100 is actually really cheap. But the important part is this. If you're going to use hydrogen on the regular, that machine is actually the cheapest way to go, because you're going to be using the machine every single day for years and years and years and years. So they sell things which I would never use, but they sell like these bottles of, they call them hydrogen pills, but it's a chemical reaction. In my opinion, they're one of the worst ways of getting hydrogen, but those bottles are, you know, between $50, $60, and you're gonna have to be buying one or two of them every month, and they're actually the most expensive way. So it's kind of like the carbon distiller I recommend from a website called mypurewater.com. The carbon distiller will cost you, you know, they're like $600, $700, $800. They have different ones. And yeah, you'll spend $600, $700, $800. And I've calculated it. And of course, you want clean water every day. At least I do. So it takes 6 months for it to pay itself off, as compared to buying, you know, bottled water or filtering your water in not the best way. So it would only save you money in time. And the other beautiful thing about that machine is that it doesn't just do the water, it does the gas inhalation too. And if you're really, really struggling, like I said, you can email me. I'll look for a discount code or something. And I can call the company and find out if they have any deals going on to get some type of discount. But for the long-term usage, and the reason that you have to understand why the price is the way it is. They're using a metal that nobody uses. When you make hydrogen, the metal technology is really important. And so the metal they use is literally second to none. It's like a samurai sword. You have to have proper metal technology, and it's expensive. It's actually like fine jewelry. Then the membrane they use, nobody uses the membrane because, again, it's too expensive. And the ones that are being used in other products, I'm not going to make any claims for or against any product or products. I'll just tell you that I've seen lab reports of what's in these membranes. It's insane. I can't believe that they're selling it to people. And so those products are cheaper. They're all the Chinese stuff. If you can't afford it or just don't want to do it, I just suggest don't do hydrogen at all. That's how bad it is. I don't want it to be something that's toxic. I want it to be something that's healing. And unfortunately, it does cost some money to do it right, you know? Just like when you make medical grade ozone. I don't know if you've ever seen medical grade ozone machines, but you literally need an oxygen tank with medical grade oxygen in order to make it properly and safely also. And just so that it can be effective. That's honestly the big issue, is you want it to be effective. So that's just my opinion on that. I wish I had a better answer for you. I actually wish hydrogen, I wish it was much cheaper, to be quite honest, but it actually is cheap. That's the thing, you know, I really thought it was expensive at first, but when I realized that back in the day to make like medical grade hydrogen and the hundreds of thousands of dollars in laboratory that you would have needed back in the day, the kind of equipment you would have needed to make such a thing, you probably don't know that machine, they got a lot of help from big time Japanese engineers to make that special machine. That machine is very unique. And the new model, the full gray one, is doing something that in the world of hydrogen shouldn't even be possible. They did lab tests, because they lab test everything, and they just couldn't believe the results. And then finally I got the footage of it. I'm going to make a video about it. It's insane what it's doing, and it enhances hydrogen even more. I've already talked to people that the benefits that is coming from that new technology, it's not the same as any other type of hydrogen. So anyway, sorry for the bad news if that's what it is. But gosh, look at this thing. This thing just keeps staring at me. This little chocolate thing over here. I need to put that thing away. I'll just block it with my Natto wrapper or whatever. Maybe my boron. I don't like to. I don't think temptation's a good thing. Like, lead us not into temptation. Like, don't put stuff in front of me, right? Because, you know, I have this rule. Oh, I won't do it. It's fine. And the truth is that the lady here, the old lady, really likes chocolate, and she says that that's like the one that she really wants to eat. There's no way I'm gonna eat that thing, and she can have it. And it's not a big deal. It's a tiny little treat, you know. I don't do a lot of stuff like that, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I got this rule where I just won't. If I have my own home, I don't bring stuff into it. So I just don't buy certain things because it's too much temptation. Like if I'm at the store and I see a bag of Doritos, I'm just not gonna bring it into the house because I know it's gonna get eaten if it's in the house. So why bring it in? Like in my parents' house, sometimes I'll go over there and they have these like cases of Coca-Cola, and I'm like, why in the world are you buying Coca-Cola? You know how bad it is for you. Well, you know, just when people are here or whatever. And I'm like, why would you want to give people that? You know? And anyway, don't even get me started, I guess. You guys want to hear an interesting statistic? I'm big on statistics. So 50% of Americans drink between 1 to 3 soda pops a day. I don't know if you guys think that's crazy, but that's 1 in 2 people. I think that's absolutely insane because here's some data for you. 1 can of soda suppresses your immune system for roughly 6 to 8 hours and increases your risk of viral and bacterial infections for about 4 to 6 hours. That's insane, guys, because if there was some type of epidemic going on, and I'm not making claims or nothing, you'd think that they would just tell everybody to stop drinking soda pop. Just saying. Just a little food for thought there. Kimijo says, yuck. I don't drink any soda pop. Well, that's what I'm saying. 1 in 2. 50% of Americans. Now, granted, how many people are obese in America? I don't know. What is it? At least 50% or more? What's that other new data? Oh, yeah, the divorce rates. Anybody know what divorce rate is? For your first, here's an interesting statistic. This is funny for you guys. Like I said, I do a lot of stats. I like them. Okay, can anybody guess what the divorce rate is for your first marriage? Just an average. I should probably let you guys go. I think we only got 2 people in here, maybe 3. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. I saw a few now. Okay. I'm gonna go soak in those springs. I'm so excited, but first things first, I gotta finish this smoothie. All right. Let's see. Nope. Been married for 29 years. Barbara says 60. Yeah, you're pretty close. I believe last I saw it's roughly 50%. So roughly 50% of your first marriages end in divorce. Nice. Now, we don't know how many stay married that are unhappy. Enjoy. Maybe you can give us a tour of Japan. Well, I have another channel. I don't know if you found it, called Happy Japan. I've been doing a lot of stuff. I think I released a few here. Intersection says you did a number on the smoothie. You did a number on the smoothie? I sure did. I always do. Fills me up. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah. Do you think that second marriages have a higher or lower rate of divorce? This will be interesting. When I did the research, I was like, what? I couldn't believe the answer. I really should let you guys go. I gotta go charge my phone. I was a statistician. Oh, there you go, Barbara. So you know. I know it's interesting, right, when you look at these numbers. I guess I could just give you the answer. What does the cartridge in the H machine do? So the cartridge is called an H-type DI filter. It's part of the technology so that the hydrogen can not only be made extremely cleanly, but also because the machine is actually super efficient. So the amount of the hydrogen that the machine makes, even to this day, a lot of people just can't even understand how it's doing what it's doing. And so it very efficient and makes really good levels of hydrogen. The levels that it makes are basically what I would call medical grade, because that's what they use in like the medical professionals that use hydrogen in Japan. That's also how I found it, looking at the numbers, because a lot of other companies, the numbers they give just don't make any sense. And some of them claim some pretty high numbers. And I'm like, God, that doesn't make any sense, understand how hydrogen works. And then it turns out that they never lab test their stuff. And in my opinion, they're literally just, dare I say, just straight up lying to people. All right. Okay, well. I really should go here, guys. But Barbara says higher, and she's absolutely correct. The second marriage, divorce rate's even higher. That's crazy. I thought the second one would last longer. I thought you'd learn from your mistakes. I guess that shows you human tendencies. Interaction says, have a wonderful soak. Oh, I will, very, very soon. And then, what about the third marriage? Do you think the third marriage, the rates of divorce go up or down? Oh, you know what? I'm going to grab my spatula. Check this. I guess I'm going to finish the smoothie. I'll get my spatula to finish it off here. Oh, jeez. I'm going to find a fly. Okay. I'll tell you, it's so cool being around a bunch of farmers. I just love farmers that grow good food. Okay. Barbara says, people carry same problems with them as they journey into life. Barbara says lower, and this is so crazy, the rate actually goes up. And on the fourth marriage, it goes up even more. With each marriage, the numbers just continue to go up. And I think I stopped around marriage number 5. I was so shocked. And you know what's interesting? I just met somebody recently who's been married, I think 4 or 5 times. And I mentioned the statistic, and he said something interesting. He said, the thing is, the more times that you get married, the less that, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you don't seem to appreciate it, or you don't hold it as sacred anymore. So you just kind of like, whatever. You throw caution to the wind kind of thing, So, you do it once, you're like, oh, okay, but then I guess, and that's what he said. So he got married again, but the way he talked about it was like, it's easy to get divorced or something like that. I can't remember. So I was just kind of thinking, oh, well, that's interesting perspective. Maybe that's why that statistic looks like that. Because I couldn't understand it because I was only looking at it from a certain perspective. And I always like to see all perspectives. So that's how I always do my research and everything else. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I should probably say goodbye here. And like I said, I'm going to finish this smoothie. And yeah. And then Dove says, I'm so picky, I probably want to get married. Or saying won't is probably what he's saying. Yeah. I mean, I don't even think you need to sign a legal document necessarily to be happy or have a good partner or whatever, But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's I don't know if it's a religious thing or, gosh, I don't even know if it's a religious thing or a legal thing anymore. Or maybe both. Intersection says, glad I met you. Hey, glad you did too. Glad you found the channel. And then Kimijo says, yes, thank you. Dove says, I agree. Yeah. Simple things in life. I mean, there are more important things than signing a legal document. But hey, for some people, that's what it takes. And whatever, to each their own, right? Yeah, I'm a simple guy, so that's why I'm here living a simple life, guys. Nothing crazy here. No big cities. No fancy watches. though. Somebody gave me one a long time ago. So once in a while I'll wear it. But for the most part, I actually don't like jewelry on my hands. I know a lot of people do. Hey, like I said, to each their own, right? Everybody lives life the way that they want to live it, and totally respect that as long as it doesn't affect your life. Like some chemical company, you know, they like making chemicals and putting them in water, and then all of a sudden it affects me. I'm like, okay, I don't think I like that. Or the way our government sometimes spends our money. Yeah, I'm not real happy about that either. But I'm actually more concerned about people suffering. You know, I don't like people to suffer, and that's the reason that I do a lot of these health stuff, because my suffering was just horrible, and hopefully these videos help people. And I already know that they have, but someday I hope for it to be on a bigger platform because I think it could help even more people. Now, when it comes to health, everybody seems to disagree and argue and fight. For me, I'd rather just say, you know what, instead of arguing, just show the numbers, like show somebody's blood pressure, glucometer, cholesterol levels, whatever, and then do these different protocols, and you'll see. Because I've worked with so many people who've tried so many things, and when they do my protocol, I mean, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or anything, but I'm very, very not only happy, but I actually get impressed. Not impressed by me, but impressed that these methods work so well. I mean, really, just sometimes I just can't believe it. Like I said, I'm working with some people right now, and the results they've seen is just, and it's only been like, I don't know, month and a half or something. No, they're very diligent. People who are more diligent on my protocol do better. So if you can stay off pharmaceuticals your whole life, I don't know. Did you guys see that new data about antidepressants? I think it's, what is it? 1 in 4 women in America are on antidepressants. And if you take antidepressants for long enough years, 100% of the time it appears that it'll cause, I think it's Parkinson's. I mean, did you guys hear about this? This seems so nuts to me. And yet they're still prescribing them. You know, it's funny how they prescribe this stuff that you technically are supposed to take forever. They know that if you take them forever, they cause certain issues. And then they're like, talk like they're going to get you off of them later. But they got really no solution about getting you off of certain things. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't totally get it. Well, I'll be right back. Give me a second here. There's that fly. Where'd you go? Maybe not be landing on my toothbrush. Should probably keep that thing closed. Well, okay, guys. I'm going to assume there's no last questions. So somebody says, sadly, I am taking a lot of pills following me heart surgery. Oh, no, really? Man, you really should have found my protocol. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying, I mean, I'm not making any claims, obviously no medical advice. The things that I have seen that are possible for heart disease with some of these protocols I'm doing, I can't believe it. Even my doctor couldn't believe it. I told you I had a heart condition myself. It's a long story, but I needed open heart surgery. And I was trying all these different hydrogen stuff, and nothing was quite working. And then I found the right machine, and I created the right protocol. Finally got it right before the surgery too. I was so close. I was about to go into schedule, and they wanted to do one final checkup. And this condition that I had had for decades mysteriously disappeared. And I mean, I had had it forever. And so that was really wild. And I really feel confident. I've worked with other people with their heart conditions. So that's two bad intersections. But what I would suggest, now, I'm sorry, no suggestions. You consult your doctors, okay? What I would do is, if you decide to get on hydrogen, your doctors have to monitor your whatever levels, because I've known, I did a video on a lady, Dolores. She was on all these different types of medicines and stuff for her heart too. And the hydrogen helps so much that you have to make sure to monitor the pills, because a lot of them, she was getting off of them. She didn't even need the pills because hydrogen was doing so much for her. And then a lot of the other ones, they had to lower them significantly. And the other thing about hydrogen that people don't know is how it protects the body. You should see my video number 8. So much research on how it protects you, which I think is extremely important, because if you're on medications that cause harm, hydrogen appears to protect you from such things. It is so protective, it's unbelievable. If you watch video number 8, you'll see cells being exposed to things like radiation and whatnot, chemotherapy. and with and without hydrogen and how the cells are affected, it is mind-blowing. That's one of the reasons there's another drug called cisplatin it's an anti-tumor drug. It destroys your kidneys, which is why doctors don't use it very often. And then if you were to see what it does when you use hydrogen with it and how the hydrogen was protecting the kidneys, I'm just telling you, hydrogen is so protective. So that's another reason I use it on the regular, because I know I'm being exposed always. There's always something in the air, maybe not in my water, but there's always something in the food. There's always something that you need to protect yourself from. So I don't know what kind of pills you're taking, but I want to look into that. Focus, look at that. It's been a while. Supporting from the Netherlands. Fist bump. Fist bump. Boom. Prayers. Okay. All right, brother. Well, good to see you guys. Yeah, that's very sad, intersections. I would definitely, gosh, I mean, depending on how much you value your life, and of course, if you can afford it, a lot of people are struggling right now, and I get that. Almost everybody is, it seems. Yeah, if you end up getting a hydrogen machine, I think it makes all the difference for heart disease. In fact, just so you know, that's one of the things that's literally medically approved for. It's actually medically approved in Japan for like heart attacks and stuff. So there's been a lot of data on hydrogen for the heart. Really amazing. Dub I says, I wonder how it helps against EMF and radiation microwaves. Oh, personally, I already feel very confident that it protects me from the majority of all that stuff. Like I said, I mean, just radiation alone, it's pretty amazing. But there's so many things that it protects against. So that's another reason I use it. There's always something to protect yourself these days from, and that's why I think hydrogen is, I mean, hands down, I don't think there's anything that works as good as it, to be quite honest with you, for protection purposes. But I'll tell you things, this is pretty wild. If you go through something traumatic, here's an interesting statistic for you. This is actual medical data from the #1 researcher in the world of vitamin D, a doctor who runs a hospital. He was doing all sorts of quote unquote kind of experiments on his patients. And what he discovered is that when you go through something traumatic, like a car accident, breaking a leg, or even going to surgery where they cut you, you deplete half of your stores of vitamin D within 50 seconds. Crazy. Vitamin D is so important, and that's the reason I'm always using it quite regularly. Yeah, I guess I can have some later. I tend to get a little bit throughout the day. So those are my suggestions. Yeah, it's crazy data on vitamin D. It's so important for you. I mean, technically it's not a vitamin. Technically it's a hormone, but okay, my vitamin D levels were so low, says Intersection. See, there you go. Vitamin D affects you in so many ways. You want to make sure to get, personally, the best one, I just couldn't get it here. You can watch my video. I did a video on the boron and the vitamin D in its ionic form. You wanted it's an ionic form because it works with vitamin K2, but it also works with magnesium. And the ionic form comes with magnesium in it. And it's the only company in the world that does that I've seen. And it's not that expensive, actually. It's quite cheap. But if you're taking it every day like you are, you really want to take the right one. Liquid is always better than pills. And in my opinion, you want the ionic form. Just my opinion, unless you're getting enough magnesium from like smoothies and different things. Enough of those minerals. You can get off of seed oils too if you can. If you had heart disease, I don't know what heart condition you had, but... Okay, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the thumbs up. Thanks for all the support. Hope you found this helpful. I am going to go enjoy the rest of my day. It's too bad it's raining, though, because that means not much bike rides. Just go to the hot springs today. Can't ride around the town when it's raining. It's kind of not as fun. But, okay, hope you guys find it helpful. I'll see you guys next time on the next one, okay? Thanks for all the support.